Hi and welcome to CBN4's Primetime News Package for this evening. I am your presenter, Alian Christopher. First up tonight, the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force, in collaboration with the regional forces on duty here in Dominica, hosted a 5-kilometer run for Dominica in the different parishes across the island on the weekend. The theme for the run was Together We Can, Together We Will, and Acting Deputy Chief of Police Davidson Valerie commended the efforts of the officers and the many civilian friends who participated in the 5-kilometer run.
An interesting run. It was well done, and I think the whole idea and suggestion is one that brought about a high level of camaraderie, togetherness, oneness, as we thrust towards our development, as we thrust towards progress in this country. It is going to help us signify togetherness. We need to be together. We need to be one, so that the right hand knows what the left hand is doing, and everybody is on board in our efforts at bringing Dominica from its situation to onwards prosperity. So the run this morning is sort of brought that idea to show that if we all come together, we can accomplish, we can do it together.
In terms of the turnout from the Dominican public itself, what do you make of the turnout?
Well, there were some persons who came, we had a few persons who came, and most probably we could have gotten a lot more had there been a lengthier publication of the event. But those who came, we are very grateful for them, for their support, and we are encouraged.
And Inspector Mason, who is one of 16 officers from the St. Lucia contingent, noted that his role was to simply encourage those who came out to participate in the activity.
I came in the run just to at least motivate the other persons that were participating in the run, and I think it was a good thing. I think based on what I was saying, that persons who did not run were still in the balcony in the verandas looking to see what's going on, and I think that was a good thing for Dominica.
And meanwhile, coach of the Striders Athletic Club, Charles Joseph, along with members of the club, noted that the idea for the 5-kilometer run was timely and would welcome a 10-kilometer run around the city.
It is an experience to, as we have been part and parcel of the rebuilding of Dominica, I felt it was a very good gesture for us to come out there and to show that we are not dead, we are alive, we are a resilient people, and we can always bounce back from the debris, we can always bounce back from the ground. We cannot go any lower, we can get only from down upward. And I think participating this morning gave us an opportunity to really bring out the best of us in Dominica and to showcase, the whole aspect of we can do it, we will do it, and we shall be able to do it. Once we put our minds together and we put our thoughts and efforts together, we can do it.
Would you encourage another 5-kilometer run or maybe a 10-kilometer?
I welcome a 10. I welcome a 10. Around Rosso, we do a little, and maybe because of the timing could have been a factor to not allowing people to come out. But again, as you can see, some people have to go to work and the rest of it. So probably 8 o'clock would be nice enough, 8 to 9, and we go around Rosso while people are there shopping, that they actually see the whole aspect of what it really is about the 5K. I think we should have passed a little more in the town. The outskirts was good, but a little more in the town so that at least we wake up the people, let them see what's going on, so that the next time, if we should have a run like this again, I think more participation would be evident in that kind of run.
And second in command of the Jamaica Defense Force, Obin Sibley's, earlier stated that the run will be aimed at raising awareness of the devastation caused by the hurricane and to also raise funds for disaster relief here in Dominica post-Maria. And Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit, has praised the government of the United Kingdom for their tremendous efforts in assisting Dominica since Hurricane Maria. Through the Department of the Foreign Affairs and Trade, the UK government have been making commitments to the Commonwealth of Dominica and assisting in the country's relief. The Prime Minister announced that with Dominica now moving into recovery after Maria, the UK government have pledged some additional funds.
To revisit our water systems, we have to do a complete assessment of the water system in Dominica and to look at changing direction in terms of the construction, the engineering, because if we do not do that, then every time we have a storm or hurricane, we have to invest millions of dollars to rebuild the water system. So what I've said to the British government is, look, we welcome the resources, but let us not spend it yet. Let us come in, bring experts in, and to do a comprehensive assessment of the water system and advise us on the kind of engineering which we should employ.
Scarrett further stated that the British government continues to show interest in road from Lubia to Bagatelle.
He's continue to be very keen on the road from Lubia to Bagatelle, and that is one of the reasons why His Royal Highness visited that those parts of the community, that part of the country. So they're seeking to fast track the process involving the construction, the design and eventual construction of this very important roadway. Clearly from what you see, there will have to be serious engineering consideration on this roadway, but it's something that can be done. It's something that can be done.
The support package, which brings the total UK contributions to £92 million, will include £10 million to help Dominica to rebuild critical infrastructure damage during the hurricane. And also making our headlines, Anthony Scotland, consultant at the National Pest and Termite Department, said that the National Pest and Termite Company developed a plan working alongside the Environmental Health Department to see how they can bring down the population of mosquitoes in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. He said there are teams of persons on the ground with special responsibility for treatment of the mosquitoes.
Bring that population of mosquitoes down. First of all, we have a team of people going on to do what they call larviciding. They're actually inspecting all the houses and the institutions around. You see where mosquitoes breed in, and they put in chemicals in them, like called BTI, to kill them. Also, we'll be going to do now what they call fogging, which is actually letting go of fogging the environment that will kill the adult mosquito. So commencing Monday, we'll be stepping on our attack in the Roosevelt district. So we expect, we try to crisscross the whole island because we have a government that actually give us 15 more people to work as vector control operators to see that how we can rapidly bring down the population of mosquito breeding.
Scotland said further persons need to ensure that they take proper care of their garbage.
The tins and the bottles, plastic, that is non-biodegradable. You can actually just pack that in your corner. You have to manage your, what you call it, garbage from your house. So all the food scrap and food leftovers, you make sure that you seal that properly and have that in containers. You do not want to expose it to provide feed for rats.
The consultant advised the public that they too should take special care of their surroundings.
Provide any source. So like all your tires should be in a dry spot or full of sand. Your drums and barrels and water containers should be covered when they are not in use. Your septic tank should be sealed so that it prevents any entries in coming into this drum. If you have flower vase in your house, make sure you clean your flower regularly.
Anthony Scotland, consultant at the National Pest and Termite Department. And stay tuned for more local news highlights after this break.
Please don't drift away. 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 Oh, won't you take me to your paradise?
And welcome back. Chief Medical Officer Dr. David Johnson have indicated that the Princess Margaret Hospital continues to provide emergency medical service to the Dominican population. Johnson noted that the accident and emergency department is fully functional and at this moment operate on a flexible shift. The chief officer further assured the public that other services and departments are fully functional at the Princess Margaret Hospital.
Radiology department of the Princess Margaret Hospital, the services are functional, so we have x-ray, plain x-ray, ultrasound, our CT scan is back and running, fluoroscopy is also functioning. The medical ward, we remember in the first press briefing we had some dislocation of the medical ward, so I'm pleased to report that the male and female wards are separated and housed on original wards. The obstetrics, gynecology and neonatal unit, antenatal, neonatal patients are housed on the antenatal section. We have the operating theater in maternity unit is fully functional. Emergency cesarean sections and normal deliveries are being performed on a daily basis before, during and after hurricane. And the majority of our mothers are postnatal mothers and children. That unit is being renovated.
Johnson also noted that only emergency services are performed at the moment as elective surgery have not yet been resumed.
And we will announce in the near future when elective surgery will resume. All the three main operating rooms are repaired. So we have repaired the main operating room, and they will be due to be commissioned or to reopen very shortly. Male surgical ward has been moved back to the original location. Our ICU, the original location was destroyed, and we are temporarily located in the Winston ward. So we continue to provide intensive care service to the population. Our dialysis, all our machines are functional, and normal dialysis services are ongoing. Oncology, the regular clinics are ongoing. We have some limitations at this moment with regards to the chemotherapy, the drugs that we administer, not in terms of the actual drugs, but where we administer the drugs to our patients. But we are looking at renovating that area and ensure that the chemotherapy continues. Psychiatry, this psychosocial support provided through the psychiatric unit is ongoing, and that is one of our strong points within the Ministry of Health. The team is not here; they're out in the district, and I suppose they will join us shortly. But the psychosocial support, which is absolutely necessary, is ongoing.
Psychosocial support, which is being provided by the psychiatric unit, is still ongoing, according to Johnson. And also in the news, the Dominica State College says it's creating history by being the resilient College of Dominica. President of the Dominica State College, Donald Peters, stated that it is not very often that the school decides to continue its courses in the devastating midst of a hurricane. Peters says that he is pleased with the general attitude of the students.
I find the students to be very mature in handling the current situation, because it's not the ideal situation for a college, but they are coping, and so our faculty. Some of the challenges for them are to get here on time for 9, a few of them. Others would like more of the courses. Some they want to do 5 courses and they only have 3. So these are things that we manage and we do.
And Peters says that while the institution is a government entity, the college has sought assistance from other agencies to assist with long-term recovery.
Well, the government has already sent the assessors to, like every other government agency, to assess what is happening. So we will expect that at some point we will get some help. But this college has been proactive and seeking international help on their own. So we've written to a number of institutions who will, for sustainable help, not just give us a few dollars to fix a room. We want them to continue to come, like MIT and the other universities, because this is a long-term recovery effort in terms of our systems, in terms of the engineering for our roof. I mean, if you look at what happened, the Chinese building were great, but the roof was compromised. So it has to be redesigned to make sure that the next time we are not in trouble, in harm's way again. So, and we would need international help on this. So, yeah, the college will, with the Ministry of Education, we always let them know what we're doing. We don't want to be like Lone Ranger out there. So, and they're very supportive.
Meantime, he disclosed that the 50 students who were selected to travel out of Dominica in pursuit of their studies would remain here in Dominica. Peter stated that there were various factors to consider.
This community college had put together a proposal to take 50 of our students for a year while we recover. And that sounded like a good opportunity, but time was a factor. And secondly, the cost. It was going to cost the government of Dominica a lot of money to do that. So we decided, the Ministry of Education, the Prime Minister's office, and I decided why not use that money to do it here instead. But we still didn't get the money. It was from CDB. So that is one of the sticky areas.
The president admits that while students were disappointed, the Dominica State College is a progressive institution that refuses to complain. And Dominica's agricultural sector suffered significant damage during the passing of Hurricane Maria on September 18th. The Agricultural Minister, Johnson Drigo, says that the government of Dominica is embarking on a rapid program to assist farmers. Johnson stated that the government is well aware that the farmers have lost tremendously in terms of crops and access to farms.
So definitely we're going to have a lot of work to do in rebuilding the industry. But Dominica's soil being what it is, I expect rapid reforestation, and I expect us to really work with the farmers and provide them with the plants that can withstand some of the pests and diseases that we now have, and that we will give up our fresh plant, disease-resistant plants, and that will get the industry back on its feet. I can assure you the agricultural sector will be back on its feet. Within a year, we'll have fruits.
The Agricultural Minister further indicated that Hurricane Maria uprooted more than 60% of Dominica's fruit trees, including that of coconuts. And Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, has commended the resilience and courage of the people of Dominica. The Prince noted via interview that the people of Dominica should not despair despite the recent devastation caused by the monster storm, Hurricane Maria.
It's wonderful to be able to come, but it's my first visit, I regret to tell you. But it's so sad to come in such difficult, challenging circumstances. But if I may say so, I've been so full of admiration for the remarkable courage and resilience of people in Dominica. And I was very sad I couldn't come to Monjon today. But can I just, through you, offer my sympathy, but also my very best wishes for all the efforts that I know everybody are making in order to try and get back onto their feet again.
Prince Charles visited Dominica on Sunday. He made stops at some of the hard-hit communities following the hurricane, including Point Michel, Pichelin, Bellevue-Chopin, and at the Botanic Gardens in Roseau. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Drift away. Please don't drift away. Please don't drift away.
And welcome back to CBN4's Primetime News. Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, has called for the strengthening of relations between Caribbean Community member states and non-English speaking countries across the Caribbean and Latin America. He was speaking at the closing panel discussion on challenges and opportunities in the Caribbean at the 6th International Monetary Fund High-Level Caribbean Forum in New Kingston. The Prime Minister was supported in his call by Grenada's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, and the Bahamas Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, Peter Turnquest. Holness, who indicated that he is a big proponent of full Caribbean integration, argued that significant benefits can be derived from stronger relations between CARICOM countries and countries such as the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and Cuba. He said Jamaica is actively pursuing a policy of outreach and engagement with the Spanish-speaking countries within the region. And Zimbabwean military veterans lashed out at President Robert Mugabe for not stepping down during his address to the nation on Sunday evening. Chris Mutsvangwa, head of the influential War Veterans Association, called on people to take to the streets once again on Tuesday to make the message clear: Mugabe has to go. In a televised address late on Sunday, the 93-year-old veteran leader defied expectations he would quit, pitching the country into a second week of political crisis. The speech provoked anger and disbelief among many Zimbabweans, fueling concerns that Mugabe could face a violent backlash. His once loyal ZANU-PF party, who has already sacked him and told him to resign as head of state, had warned it would seek to impeach him if he failed to quit by midday. The party's lawmakers, who will be needed to initiate any impeachment process, are expected to meet. The army said it makes a statement in response to the crisis triggered by Mugabe's refusal to go. And President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, has announced that the U.S. is redesignating North Korea a state sponsor of terrorism 9 years after it was removed from the list. In a cabinet meeting, he said the move would trigger very large additional sanctions to be announced on Tuesday. Trump blamed the country's nuclear program and support for what he called international acts of terrorism. While announcing the decision, the U.S. president said it should have happened a long time ago. Speaking at the White House, Trump said that North Korea has repeatedly supported international acts of terrorism and that the regime must act lawfully and also cease its nuclear weapons program. And that takes us to the end of the Primetime News package. If you've missed any of the stories, you can catch up on CBN4.com or on our Facebook page. And if there's ever a story you'd like us to cover, feel free to email us at cbn4news@gmail.com. Until our next broadcast, I am Alian Christopher saying thank you for watching.